Hello guys, I hope you've all been well. Welcome back to Manala's arc. Let me make, okay, it's disabled, right? It's disabled. I wanted to make sure that my blue filter it's disabled because when it appears to you, I don't want these videos to appear yellow. It will be up to your choice that you want to reduce the blue light that comes from the screen. Again, welcome back to Manala's arc, guys. I hope you've been well. This is a revision lesson. This is not a deep dive lesson. We are revising here. What are we revising? We are revising a topic of geometry of straight lines. I want you to understand now that this topic, it works in grade 8 and grade 9. Right. What you learn in grade 8 and grade 9, it's the same thing. So let me say grade 8 and 9 geometry of straight lines. So reduce that a bit. Grade 8 and 9 geometry of straight line revision. Now basically what I'm saying to you is that what you are learning in grade 8 in terms of geometry of straight lines, it's exactly what you're going to learn in grade 9 also, the very same way, right? So with that being said, make sure that you go into my YouTube channel. You watch the previous videos where I'm giving lessons for geometry of straight lines. I'm teaching you about the whole FUNXY rule, what is corresponding angles, co-interior, alternating angles, vertically opposite angles, and everything like that. So basically, you would just go to the YouTube channel like that. And then on the YouTube channel, let me choose a pen here. Color, let's say orange for now. On the YouTube channel, you want to go into the section that is saying playlist, right? On playlists, you want to go and choose this playlist here. This one here, the one that says grade 8 and 9 geometry of straight lines. Make sure you watch that playlist. It has 8 videos. Some videos are short there. It teaches you everything you need to know about geometry of straight lines. You get to answer questions there and all those things. This is just a follow-up video for me. This video that I'm creating now. If you don't really need it like that. If you watch these videos, this video that you're watching now, it will never give you a problem. Okay, so make sure that you go to this channel, to our channel, the one that you're watching now. Go to the section that says playlist, right? You see that? And then you go to this playlist that says grade 8 and 9 geometry of straight lines. You watch these videos. Whether a video is written grade 8 or it's written grade 9, it's the same thing. Grade 8 and 9 is the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Okay. So now, let's get to the questions. Obviously, we'll start by jumping into the heat exactly. All right. Remember what we said. This is not a lesson video. This is a revision video, which means we are here to solve questions. Now in this situation, it says solve for A, right? A, how do we see A? A appears right here. It appears on this part and it appears on this part here, right? Why is that so? So they want us to solve for A. How do we do that? First of all, we must notice some patterns that are here. We have to understand that this line here is parallel to this line here. How do we know that? By this symbol and this symbol here. So if they are parallel, they are forming more or less like a Z formation right here. It's a Z formation, right? Remember alternating angles, we said the armpits of the Z formations are equal. So this angle here and that angle here are alternating, right? So let's get to work with them. Let me erase all the unnecessary stuff there. So basically I can say this angle, let me choose a pen, a normal pen. I can say this whole angle, this angle is called what? 5A plus 40 degrees. I see I'm losing my skill of writing with the writing pad here. It's been a while. So I'm saying this angle here is equal to that angle here. This angle is what? A plus 100 degrees. Now, if you haven't paused this video to solve this question on your own, pause it now, like where we are now. Pause this video and continue solving these things on your own. And then you'll press play when you have to see the solution. This is not life science, guys. This is not geography, whereby you have to sit and watch. You actually have to pause the video and solve things on your own first. and then proceed to watch the video so that you can see where you can fix your mistakes, right? So now here, we need to give a reason why we are saying this angle is equal to that angle. Why would this angle be equal to that angle? We spoke about it. We said this is alternating angles. You write alt angles, alternating angles. Afterwards, you give me the parallel lines they are using. So we have the line CD. Remember, you call the whole line. You don't just say CE. I want you to give me the whole line. So we have CD is parallel to this whole line also, AB. Now, bear in mind, I want you to be careful of something here. Whenever we're working with geometry of straight lines, one mark, it goes to you giving us the statement. This part, we call it the statement. The statement is where you tell me that this angle is equals to this angle, right? And the reason is this part here, whereby you're telling me that this angle is equal to this angle because they are alternating angles. So this whole thing here, this whole thing that I've written here, the statement and the reason, it is one mark. So if one of them is missing, you are losing the mark. If you just write the statement and say 5/8 equals to 40 degrees plus you lose one mark. You can't just give me a statement without a reason. We good? And then when you give me a reason that doesn't have parallel lines, wrong again. You give me a statement with a reason, and if the reason has parallel lines, you mention the parallel lines. I hope you're good. So moving forward, I have to separate the knowns from the unknowns. So 5A and A are the unknowns, right? So I'm going to say 5A, and then here I need the additive inverse of that. So I'm going to have plus 40 degrees is equals to A. Let me create some space here. Create some space. I will need the space. A plus 100 degrees. So I want to take the A to the other side. How do I take A to the other side? Additive inverse. I have to say minus A. Because I said minus A on the right, I'm going to say minus A on the left too. So this A now, it moves from this side, it goes to the other side. What else am I supposed to move again? I'm supposed to move the 40 degrees. So here I have 5A minus A, right? And then I have plus 40 degrees is equals to 100 degrees. And I have to move the 40 degrees. How do we move the 40 degrees? The additive inverse. I'm going to say minus 40 degrees and minus 40 degrees this side. The additive inverse of plus 40 is minus 40. That's how I'm removing the 40 this side. It's now on the other side. And then what am I left with in general? I'm left with 5A minus A is equals to 100 degrees minus 40 degrees. What did I do? I took 40 and moved it to the other side, and I took A, I moved it to that side. You see then, these two steps, that's what I've been doing. So now I add the like terms or subtract the like terms. 5A minus A, that is how much? 4A. Algebra is important, guys. And then here I have 100 degrees minus 40 degrees. This is 60 degrees. Right? And then afterwards, I have to remove this 4 because 4 is a known, A is an unknown. How do I remove a known from an unknown joined by multiplication? I do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. Divide by 4 and divide by 4 this side. 4 cancels the 4 here. And then this side, I'm left with A. Now, since you are in grade 8, guys, I want you to bear in mind that you don't have to use your mind in these things. Nothing said solve this without a calculator, so use a calculator. So here's my calculator. I said 60 divided by 4, then equal sign. That gives me 15, right? So I write that 15 here. 15 degrees. There. I solved for A. If this thing was 4 marks, I got my 4 marks. If this thing was 5 marks, I got my 5 marks. That's how it is. We good. So if it's 3 marks, I got my 3 marks. Just because they said 3 marks, it doesn't mean I have to write 3 steps. I have to write all the steps. All these steps that you see here. Even if they said 3 marks, I need them. right? The marker or the teacher is going to decide which part of my steps is she going to mark. I don't choose which steps I'm writing. She chooses or he chooses which steps he is going to mark out of everything I've written down. We good? Great. Let's move on to the next part, guys. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are on the channel, we've realized that some people have joined the channel, but they haven't subscribed. We have 45 videos on our channel, but with this much subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscription button there. And then don't forget to like the video and comment anything that you want us to do, or any questions you have, or any confusions you have. This will be the only part where I advertise my channel here. Afterwards, from here, we are moving. And I'm going to try to move faster now. Okay, here we go. What do we have here? The first thing, look at the statement here. What do you see? You must see something. You must see something. Which means now, out of everything that we have, whether we have alternating angles, corresponding angles, co-interior angles, vertically opposite angles, adjacent angles on a straight line, complementary angles, and things like that, what do you see? So if I have to solve for P here, the main thing that I see is that if I add all these angles together here, I must get 180 degrees, right? Do you know the reason why? If you haven't paused the video to solve the question on your own, please make sure you pause the video now and try to solve this question on your own. So now I have 2P minus 55 degrees. That's the angle here. I'm going to add it with what? With the angle here. What is that angle? 3P. So positive 3P plus, I'm going to add it with what? The angle here. What is that angle here? 70 degrees. So all these angles together, they're supposed to give me how much? 180 degrees. And then I give my reason. What is my reason? My reason is adjacent angles on a straight line. There, my reason. Remember, statement plus reason. 1 mark. Remember that. Statement plus reason, 1 mark. Statement alone, no mark. Reason alone, no mark. Right statement, wrong reason, no mark. Right? So now, and then what am I supposed to do here? I'm supposed to separate the knowns from the unknowns. So in this situation, I have this part here and this part here as the like terms, and then everything else, these are unlike terms. This part here and this part here are the knowns. I'm supposed to send them to the other side, but let's start by adding the like terms and the unlike terms, right? So here we go. I'm going to say 2P plus 3P. I group them together, 2P plus 3P, and then I have negative 55 degrees, and I have positive 70 plus 70. It's equals to 180 degrees. What was I doing? I was grouping the like terms. So now, since these are the like terms, I add them together. This is how much? 5P, and then I have this part and this part together. What am I supposed to do? These are integers. Don't waste your time. Don't try to get this thing wrong. Just pull out your calculator there and put it like that. Negative 55 plus 70. Do your integers with the calculator just to be right. How much do I get? Positive 15, right? So I'm going to say here, positive 15. It equals to 180 degrees. You see that? Avoid confusions, avoid complications. Use your calculator. Now, and then what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to do the additive inverse of 15 degrees. Remember, additive inverse before reciprocative inverse. So I have 5P plus 15 degrees. This is equals to 180 degrees. I have to remove the 15 degrees by the additive inverse. What is the additive inverse of positive 15? That is negative 15 degrees. So I add the additive inverse on both sides, and this side removes the 15. Now simplifying, I have 5P is equals to, don't stress yourself here. I know you might know the answer. But just use the calculator. It will make me happier for you to just get it right with the calculator. 165, positive 165. So here I go. I'm going to say positive 165. Right. And then I have to detach 5 from the P. How are they joined? They're joined by multiplication. What is the opposite of multiplication? Division. So I'm going to remove the 5 from P by dividing with 5. So I divide both sides with 5. What I do on the left, I also do on the right. 5 cancels the 5. I'm left with P being equals to, again, I know you can do it without a calculator, but I prefer you do it with a calculator. 165 divided by 5. How much is that? 33 degrees. So I just go there and I'm going to say this is 33 degrees. Pooh. Here's a mark there. Show all the steps. Follow everything that you're supposed to do. Okay. Now, next question. I have this one here which says solve for the unknown angles. Again, if you haven't paused the video, pause the video here, solve the question on your own, and then proceed to see the answer. Is that okay? So now let's start with this angle here. First things first, what do you see? Oops. Let's fix that. So what do you see here? There is something that you should be able to see from the onset as you are starting. Let's start with this part here. This center right here, right? This is center O, right? O1, O2, O3, O4, right? There are several things to solve for here. There are many things we're going to apply here, right? And I want to write all of them for you here so that you see them. Let me start by writing here, right here. I'm going to say, you see this part here, this is O, this is O1, this is O2, this is O3, this is O4. Be good. So can I safely say now that angle O1 plus 132 degrees is equals to 180 degrees? Can I say that? O1 plus 132 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. What is the reason? If you guessed it, that is adjacent angles on a straight line. I hope you saw that. Now what do? I have to solve for O1. How do I solve for O1? Additive inverse. That's how it is, guys. What is the additive inverse of 132? Positive 132. The additive inverse is negative 132. So negative 132 is being added on both sides so that I can remove it on the left side. Now to solve that, what do I get? I'm going to say O1 with a cap there. You can't write an angle without a cap. You have to show us that this is an angle. O1 is equals to 180 minus 132. And again, I know you can do this without a calculator, but just do it with a calculator, guys. So 180 minus 132. How much is that? 48 degrees. With a calculator, I'm sure. There's no guessing. Okay, 48 degrees. There we go. Right. Do we all see that? Now let me divide this part here so that we don't mix it with anything. And then I have to go and answer other questions. They said solve for all the unknown angles. So far I know O1. Now let me find O2. Can I use O1 to get O2? What will be the reason? I'm sure you can see it. I mean, what do you see there? I'm going to say O1. Let me write it a little bit above there. As I was saying, O1 is equals to O2. And altogether, O1 is equals to O2. But what is O2? What is O1? O1 is 48 degrees. We already found O1 here, remember? Right. What is the reason? These are vertically opposite angles. Do vertically opposite angles need parallel lines? No, they don't. Right? So this is the statement and the reason. One mark again. We good? So I have this part here as 48 degrees. I have this part here as 48 degrees. Whenever you find your angle, write it on the diagram so that you don't make a mistake. We good? Great. Now, afterwards, I want to say that this angle here, oops, that's not a highlighter. Let's choose a highlighter maybe. It's a highlighter, yeah. This angle here, you see that? I want to say is equals to this angle here. What will be the reason? The reason that I want you to see is that here I have an F formation here this way. This is what I want you to see, that I have an F formation and this angle are equal. What is the reason there? Corresponding angles. If that's what you saw, perfect, right? Let me write that down. So I'm saying here angle O1 is equals to angle A. There is only one angle at A, so I don't have to mention which A. There's only one angle at A. So all this is equals to 48 degrees. What is the reason? Corresponding angles. If you guess that, I'm proud. Does corresponding angles need parallel lines? Yes. This symbol here that you see, these are parallel lines. And then what are those lines? Let me erase so that we can see that. These lines, it's KT. Remember, you call the whole line. We have KT being parallel to what? AB. There we go. Easy. So I found this now. This is also 48 degrees. Right? Do you see that? This angle also alternates with this one. So you could have found it by alternating angles. If that's the method you found, that also works. Right? So now, what else? What else? So now, we are saying that, let's put this here. Found this as 48 degrees. And I want to know what is the relationship between this angle and this angle. What is the relationship? Look at it in terms of a triangle. So I have angle A, which I'm saying that is equals to angle B. I can say angle B because there's only one angle at B. These angles are all equals to 48 degrees. What is the reason? This one, many people find it hard to discover. In grade 8, you can give me base angles of an isosceles triangle. I can take that. But if you're in a higher grade, I won't take that reason. The one that I want in higher grade is this one. Equal angles, opposite equal sides. See that? Equal angles, opposite equal sides. Beautiful. So which means now this angle here, it is also, let's remove that. This angle here, it is also 48 degrees. Does this mean each and every angle here will be 48 degrees? No, no ways. That's not going to happen. For example, let's look at this angle here. This one here, O3. How do I find O3? Angle O3. I can simply say angle A, angle O3 plus angle A plus angle B is equals to 180 degrees. What will be the reason here? Sum of interior angles of a triangle. Remember this reason. Remember this reason. Now, substitution. I'm going to say angle O3. Do you see the angle caps that I'm putting there? If you just write O3 for me without an angle cap, that's wrong. So angle A, it's 48 degrees. Angle B, it's 48 degrees. I mean, we found those. This is equals to 180 degrees. Now, let's add the like terms. O3 plus, I know you can add 48 plus 48 in your own head, but use the calculator. Oops, mistake. 48 plus 48, that is 96. right? We are avoiding mistakes here. We are being careful. We want to collect all the marks. 96 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. How do I remove 96 and send it to the other side? Additive inverse. So positive 96, I'm going to have to remove it by its additive inverse. What is its additive inverse? That is negative 96. So negative 96 on the left and negative 96 on the right. This part cancels that part. I'm left with what? I'm left with O3. O3 is equals to, I'm going to say 180 minus 96. I'm not sure where I paused the video, but I proceeded, and this is how I found it. I actually spoke throughout this video without unpausing the video. But then here we go. I'm not sure how far I was. Here I have O1 being equals to A. Let me narrate that for you so that you can see it. I said O1 is equals to A, and that is equals to 48 degrees because these are corresponding angles. I hope you find it the same way too. And then here I have O3, looking for O3, and my O3 was 84 degrees right there. Easy, right? And then I have O4, looking for O4. I used alternating angles. So this was the last part. I actually continued this video without unpausing the video. I don't know what got into me, right? But then the next question, I'm sure this was not too bad. Next question, I'll make sure I don't pause anything now. So here we have the following. Let's choose this. Solve for the unknown angles. What do you see? Please make sure that you pause the video yourself and you solve this part on your own first. After that, when you're done or when you get stuck, proceed with the video so I can solve it for you. Let's start with angle C. I know you'd love me to start with A, but let's start with C. No, in fact, let's use order. Let's start with A because it's more difficult to start with A. And I want you to see that. How do I find angle A? Angle A, I want you to see that this here is co-interior angles. This angle and this angle are co-interior angles. It's like a C facing the other side, right? So now remember, what do we know about co-interior angles? Let's erase them. Co-interior angles, we know that they add up to 180 degrees. Easy as that. So I'm going to say angle A plus the 154 degrees is equals to how much? 180 degrees. What is the reason? These are co-interior angles. Which parallel lines are they using? They're using TS and PR. There we go. And then I have to continue solving for A. I'm going to say A plus 154 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. I have to remove 54 from this side by the additive inverse. What is the additive inverse of 154? It's negative 154. So I add negative 154 on both sides. This 154 cancels that one. I'm left with the A this side being equals to, wait for it, remember what we said. Don't try to win on this thing. Don't use your own mind. Use the calculator unless they tell you otherwise. 180 minus 154, that is equals to 26 degrees. So here we have 26 degrees for A. See how easy is that? So once you have A, basically you can solve for many things. Right? Now let's solve for B. I want us to go in order and see if that's possible. B. I'm saying this is how much? 26 degrees. Let me write it in red so I can be able to see it. 26 degrees. Now let's go to B. How do I find B? Now when it comes to B, I want you to see this here. This here. Do you see it? I feel like you don't see it. Let me choose a better color. Look at this line going there. Look at this line going there. And look at this line going there. This way. Look at this angle and look at this angle. What's happening there? What's happening? It's an F formation, facing this way. So this is definitely an angled relationship. What do we call that angled relationship? Wait, this is 26. Yes. This is corresponding angles. So I'm going to say 48 degrees is equals to angle B. This B, I don't need to put an angle cap to it because B, it already shows that it's an angle. It's not a vertex like R. R is the vertex. B is the angle. So 48 degrees is equals to B. What is the reason? We said this is corresponding angles. Right. Which parallel lines are they using? Because corresponding angles needs parallel line. It's using TS being parallel to PR. Hope you can see that. So I can easily come here now and write it down for myself here that this angle is equals to 48 degrees. Boom, here we go. ABC. So now I want to go to C, this angle here. How do I find C? Well, that's easy. I can use this as adjacent angles on a straight line, but that will take me too much time. It doesn't mean that will be wrong. It just means it's going to take me too much time. Alternatively, what I can use is this angle here and this angle here. You see what are those? I hope you can see what are those. This part here and this part here. So I'm saying C is equals to angle A. How much is angle A? 26 degrees. What is the reason? Alternating angles. And alternating angles need parallel lines. So it's the parallel line TS, this line here, and this line here, PR. Remember, you call the whole line PR this way. Right? So I found my angle C now. I can just write it down here. Let me erase all the other unnecessary stuff. I can actually write this here as 26 degrees. What am I left with? Angle D. Because S is not an angle, it is a vertex. It is a point on a line. So let's do that. How do I find angle D? I simply have to say D plus B plus C is equals to 180 degrees. Can you guess the reason here? The reason is adjacent angles on a straight line. No. I'm even flowing with it as if it's correct. The reason is interior angles of a triangle. I'm missing something here. Something that I'm missing is sum of interior angles of a triangle. Right? And then I substitute there. Do I have D? No. So I put D. Plus, do I have B? Yes. B is 48 degrees. So I put 48 degrees there. Plus, do I have C? Yes. C is 26 degrees. So I put 26 degrees here. That is equals to 180 degrees. Now I add these two things. I know you can add them without a calculator, but why take the risk when you can just use a calculator? Right? So I'm going to say, what is that? Let me put it here. I'm going to say 48 plus 26 degrees. That gives me 74 degrees. So I'm going to come back here and say 74 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. Now, how do I remove the 74 from 180 degrees? Additive inverse. So D plus 74 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. The additive inverse of positive 74 is negative 74 degrees and negative 74 degrees this side. This cancels that and I can just find the answer there. So I'm saying therefore D is equals to, calculator again, 180 minus 74. That is 106. 106 degrees. There we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. The other part now. Just 3 more questions left and we'll be done. This is so easy. So let's try to find them in order and see if we can do that. I'll just use a red color here and I'll try to be as fast as possible. How do we find A? What is the relationship between A and 140 degrees? I know that A is equals to 140 degrees, right? What is the reason? Vertically opposite angles, right? I found it. A is 140 degrees. No other step, nothing. Statement plus reason, 1 mark, right? Next part. I want to find angle B. Let me just write what I have here. I know that this is 140 degrees, right? So let us find B. Now, do you see B? Do you see 140 degrees? Do you see what's happening there? I have this part here, that's a Z that's sitting this way, which means this angle is equal to that angle, which is this part and this part. Do you see what I'm talking about? I hope you can, right? I hope when you are solving this question on your own, you saw it that way too. So you would say here that angle B is equals to 140 degrees. Reason being, these are alternating angles. Well, how are they alternating? They need parallel lines. So this line, these symbols here, they're telling us that these 2 lines are parallel. So HK, here is HK, is parallel to what? ST. There we go. Is there any way you could have found angle B? Yes. You could have said angle A and angle B are corresponding. If you see it, you see it. If you know corresponding angles, you would see it. We're good. So here I just have to write my angle size. Oopsie, it's crashing now. Oops, guys, my laptop crashed. I just have to write those few things again, but I think I can remember them. I think we can all remember them. In fact, I bet you've written them down. We said first, A is equals to, let me fix that, and I'll make this quick, I promise. We said A is equals to 140 degrees. Our reason was vertically opposite angles, which do not need parallel lines. Statement reason, 1 mark, right? So this is 140 degrees. I'm sorry, my laptop crashed, guys. And then we said now this part and this part are alternating angles. So we said angle B is equals to 140 degrees. And our reason, we said it's alternating angles. And then which parallel lines? H and K. So we have H and K being parallel to S and T. ST, not S and T. Right. So which means now here we just have to come here and write our angle values. That's what I was doing when the laptop crashed. Good. Is that okay? Now, let me make sure I keep on saving so that I don't lose these things again. Now, what else now? What else is that I have to find angle C. Now, there are 2 ways to find angle C. If you see them or if you see one of them, I'm proud of you. But you're supposed to see something to find C. Now, that's a weird play. I can use these 2 angles here. Say angle B plus angle C, they're supposed to give me 180 degrees. What could be the reason for that? The reason is that they are adjacent angles on a straight line. Beautiful. Now, or else I can say this angle here, 140 degrees, plus this angle here, C, they're equals to, together, C and 140 is equals to 180 degrees. What is the reason? Co-interior angles. If you guessed co-interior angles, I'm so proud of you, right? Let's do it the co-interior angle way because we haven't done a lot of co-interior. So whichever way you do it, it's fine by me. I'm just going to choose co-interior angles for now. So I'm saying angle C plus 140 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. Reason? Co-interior angles. Co-interior angles need what? Parallel lines, which we have HK and ST. Easy as that. And then now I just solve for C, right? So C plus 140 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. I need the additive inverse of positive 140. That is negative 140. So I add negative 140 on both sides. Me being able to remove now 140 from the left so that I can be left with C on the side. I know you can get this without a calculator, but when they never said do not use a calculator, just use a calculator, right? So it's 180 minus 140 minus, that gives you 40 degrees. You know, when it's like that, you don't have to guess anything. You don't have to make sure. You don't have to. You just know the calculator did it for you. Then you're sure now that it's 40 degrees, right? We are left with one part now. Do we have enough space? Exactly. It doesn't need a lot from us. We said this is how much? 40 degrees. There we have it. I'm left with angle D. How do I find angle D? Well, I can simply say angle B is equals to angle D. And how much is that? That is 140 degrees. Now, what will be the reason? The reason is that these two angles are vertically opposite angles. Let me show you what I mean by that. This angle and this angle are vertically opposite because we have axis there, right? So they're vertically opposite, right? Second last question, we have this one here. Now here, if I want to play with your mind a little bit, I might give you a question like this one. What do you see? Now, if you want to start by solving for x for me, that's fine. We can start by that. Solve x, y, then z. Let's see if we can do that. Right. So I'm saying here, this angle x here and this angle 33 degrees, they have a relationship. What is the relationship, if you ask? The relationship is that this thing here, it's a C formation using parallel lines. This line being parallel to this line. Right? So, meaning this angle and this angle are what? In a C shape, these two angles are what? Co-interior angles, provided that the lines are parallel. So that's co-interior angles. That's what I want. That's what I want you to see. Immediately when you see a diagram, that's what I expect from you. Right? So I have X. Let me choose a fine pen here. So I'm saying X plus 33 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. My reason was what? Co-interior angles. Co-interior angles need parallel lines. What are they using? CD being parallel to what? AB. Remember, you call the whole line. It's much safer that way, trust me. So now I have to separate the 33 from X. X is an unknown, 33 is a known. So that is X plus 33 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. What is the opposite of positive 33? That is negative 33. So I do the additive inverse on both sides such that this side I'm only left with X being equals to. I know you can do this without a calculator. Again, I'm saying use the calculator. 180 minus 33, that is 147. So this is equals to 147 degrees. That is your X. That is your X. Now Y, how can I find Y? I can see Y, it's on an armpit with, and this one is on an armpit. And there's a Z formation there, in case you don't see it. In case I have to tell you about it, there's a Z formation there. Right. So I'm saying now angle Y is equals to the 21 degrees, which is at angle B. This one I found it. Let me write 147 here and then go back to my statement. Y is equals to 21 degrees. Why? Because these are alternating angles. Using which lines as parallel lines? They are using CD and AB. Remember, alternating angles need parallel lines. We good? The next part that I'm seeing here is, let's erase this. The next part that I'm seeing is another Z formation, in case you don't see it again, which I was hoping that you are seeing it. I hope you saw it. So here's a Z formation, angle here, with parallel lines right there. So I have angle Z is equals to 33 degrees. My reason is the same. Alternating angles using the line CD being parallel to AB. Okay, done. XYZ solved for. See how easy is that? How beautiful is that? The more you do them, the more they come natural to you. This question, what do you see? It's so important. You'll only be able to see things the more you do them. The more you do these things, the more you'll be able to do them. The more you'll be able to see them, I mean. Right? Geometry of straight lines, it's about you developing the eye that can see things, that can see patterns on a diagram. Be good? So, last question. Last question is very easy. Very easy. If you didn't pause the video throughout this whole lesson, this is your chance. Because this is the last question. This is your chance now to prove to yourself that you can actually do these things with correct statement and reason, and simplifying and getting the answer. That's all I'm asking for. That's all. Right. Solve for the unknown angles. I want to know how much is this angle. I want to know how much is this angle. Obviously, these two angles are equal. I mean, like, come on. We have two parallel lines. We have a transversal line. These angles, they form a corresponding angles. If you didn't see that from the onset, I don't know, guys. So I'm saying x plus 50 degrees is equals to this angle, which is 3x minus 10 degrees. There is one thing that you'll realize here, ever since this video started. Algebra and integers, these are the basic languages for maths. You'll do these things for the rest of your maths life. There is no way you'll ever continue with maths and not touch on these topics. You can go to Maths Lit, maybe they'll be there, here and there a little bit. But in pure maths, these things will forever be there. Let's continue, guys. We are almost 1 hour into this video. All right. So I'm saying this angle here, it's equals to this angle. What is the reason? Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Now, they didn't give us parallel lines like AB and CD. So if they didn't give us that, we just say corresponding angles. We don't mention the parallel lines because they never gave us the labels of the parallel lines. Be good. So afterwards, we separate the knowns from the unknowns. All right. I hope you paused the video to solve this thing on your own first. Because if you don't, you're robbing yourself, guys. So I have x plus 50 degrees. I want to transpose this 50 degrees to the other side. So I'll open some space here. 3x minus 10 degrees. This side, the left side, I want to leave variables. The right side, I want to send the knowns. Unknowns on the left, knowns on the right. What is the additive inverse of positive 50? That is negative 50. Then negative 50. That's called. The positive 50 and the negative 50, they cancel out. I have x is equals to 3x. Now, I know integers are smoking you guys. I know integers are dealing with you big time. Don't attempt things that you don't have to attempt. Don't try things. Where you collect marks, collect marks. They never said don't use a calculator here. So just use a calculator. Negative 10 minus 50. How much is that? Negative 60. I know there are people who would have thought that this thing is 40 or negative 40 or whatever. Just use the calculator. If they never said do not use the calculator, use the calculator. Negative 60, as I was saying. Negative 60 degrees, right? So now what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to take the 3 and send it to the left side. How does that happen? Again, with the additive inverse. Right? Let's choose a color here for additive inverses. The additive inverse of positive 3x is what? Negative 3x. So this side I'm also going to attach negative 3x. Right? Negative 3x and positive 3x, they cancel out. This side, if you don't know integers, we have 1 minus 3 here. The coefficient of this is what? 1 minus 3. If it's giving you a problem again, remember they never said don't use a calculator here. Just go to the calculator and push it. Don't be ashamed. 1 minus 3, that's negative 2. right? So which means here I have what? I have negative 2x. Negative 2x is equals to what? Negative 60 degrees. How do I remove the negative 2 from x? You have to know first, how are they attached? How are they attached? They are attached by multiplication. So it means we remove them by division. Remove them by division. Again, guys, don't let yourself die when you have the tools with you in the test or in the exam. Go to your calculator there and put it the way you see it, as a fraction. Say negative 60 all over negative 2. See how much you get. Positive 30. Come and write it down for me here. This is positive 30. I can do hundreds of these questions, guys. But if you don't pause the video to solve the questions on your own, you will never get it. Maths is a doing subject. Maths is a verb. It's like a doing subject. So you can't understand maths without actually doing it yourself. So please make sure you don't rob yourself that opportunity. And if you have to go through this video again, go through it. If you don't understand anything about this video, go back to Manala's arc. Check this part here that says, you want to go to the part that says playlist. So this part of the YouTube channel, playlist, you go to it. Let's choose a nice color here. You go to playlist, right? After you click on playlist, you'll see multiple playlists appearing there for different grades, different topics. You want to choose this one here, grade 8 and 9. It's like my first playlist, this one of the first playlists I ever created. You're going to choose this playlist here. Watch the videos exactly in the order of the first uploaded video to the last uploaded video in this playlist. There are only 8 videos. And then come back to watch this video and see if you cannot solve these questions here on your own. These questions that we just solved. And see if you cannot do them on your own. Right? That's the end of this video, guys. The end. If you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell there, so that next time we upload a video you can see it. Right? All the best in your exams. I'm still going to upload for other topics. I'm not sure when, but I will. Goodbye, guys. We are going to have a live session on TikTok. I'll send you the date when are we going to have it. Goodbye.